old classic on the show. Because, I'm a Patrick Mahomes guy, beloved in Kansas City. I'm most excited to see a weaponized Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my.
Because as much as I am a quarterback wins guy, also a fan of the numbers. So here's Patrick Mahomes' numbers. Record is 15-1, obviously the best in his career. Completion percentage, the best. A lot of little passes. Passing yards per game was the worst. Yards per pass was the worst. Passing touchdowns only 26. You want Caleb to throw 30 plus. Tied the worst. And passer rating was the second worst of his career. Now, I think we saw something at the end of the Super Bowl where Mahomes said, you know what? I know Nick Sirianni is covered in Gatorade, but it's time for me to just air this sucker out.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit more of this, of just Mahomes just kind of opening it up, playing a little bit more free and loose.
I'm with you.
Also, Brew, we are nearing behind the back pass season.
Oh, yeah. He's got to break it out in a game.
We're getting close to this. Confident Mahomes.
It was supposed to happen last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
might
know
do
about this year.
In our
He's got to do it before
Coming
Kelsey
off the
retires.
Super Bowl loss,
Got to do it before Kelsey.
wanting to, he's obviously still established, but wanting to have this huge year.
But they went. The offense became less fun.
Yeah.
There's no ring around the rosy type thing.
Yeah.
Is he going to do the behind the back pass? Are we going to do more lateral? The offense just felt was effective, but a little stayed. I'd like to see a little bit more fun, so I'm excited to see if he's got to win games just kind of methodically. So be it. I'm a QB wins guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Mahomes looks like this year. Because I think he'll definitely be better offensively. Obviously, healthier weapons. I think it's actually kind of interesting when you look at how the season unfolded. Obviously, they're going for the three-peat. They start off undefeated. They're winning a lot of games in weird fashion, close games, tough games. And I think they reached a point with the Chiefs where it was kind of like, try not to lose more than trying to win. It was like, just don't lose, especially when they were going for the, when they were undefeated. And there was like real conversation about them going undefeated and getting the 3P. And, there was legitimate momentum there. And I think naturally you are going to, conservative is too strong of a word, but Mahomes just probably wouldn't have played as loose as he would have liked. But also when you're in a lot of these close games and you're obviously being so defensively driven, you're not going to be able to play as loose because you have to play smart football. You have to manage games. Patrick Mahomes was certainly asked more to manage games, and that's crucial. Patrick Mahomes is an elite game manager. Just like Tom Brady was an elite game manager. And, you can make the argument that one of the deficits that Lamar Jackson needs to take a step forward with to finally get over the hump and win is be an elite game manager. We know he's an elite game changer, an elite game breaker, but for whatever reason, as the years have gone on, people think that being a game manager is somehow like an insult. And it's like, no, you need to be able to manage games. And that is what Mahomes had been asked to do really for these last couple of seasons, really the last, 23 to 24, more than anything. So it's kind of funny because in a lot of ways, if this defense continues to be as great as it's been, you're not really asking the offense to skyrocket. You're not asking for Patrick Mahomes to have a career year. You're going to ask him just to be able to be, hey, we want to elevate you a little bit more. We want you to be better. We don't need to return you back to like your peak passing yards and passing touchdowns and whatnot. We still want to create an environment where you only have to manage because that is the ideal situation for a quarterback. That's how you're winning games. That's how you have a complete team. We're not asking you to put on the Superman cape drive after drive after drive. But then if you can start to have all you do is just need a slightly better offense, and if you still continue to have a great defense, well, now you will be up 14, 21, like you'll have a bigger gap, which then in the third quarter kind of does open up the door a little bit to be like, hey, have a I don't want to say like have a little bit of fun, but just be a little bit looser. You can take a few chances. You can have a few moments when you're like, all right, let's just let it rip down the field. If it works, it works. If not, no harm, no foul, whatever. I think it can kind of just loosen things up a little bit. But I don't think that has to be the priority of the offense. Clearly, especially as long as this defense continues to be great, especially great situationally. And that's where this defense has been so awesome over the years, is not just the bottom line numbers and holding teams to, low scoring and whatnot, but just really what they've been able to do situationally in crucial key moments. So I'm going to be fascinated to also see how Andy Reid calls the games and what Patrick Mahomes wants. Because, again, you could talk about it being boring and whatnot, or that it hasn't had a lot of juice. It's like, but they've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, and they've been to 3 Super Bowls in a row. So, like, it obviously works. So it's just like, you can't say, like, oh, well, all this stuff needs to change, or it's this or that. And it's just like, well, then you'd be changing things only for ego reasons at that point. And like that, and it's like, or if like Patrick Mahomes just wants to have more fun or wants to put up bigger numbers. And it's like, well, that's not what you want either. So that's like that's why you're not going to like completely change everything. Again, things are still going to evolve, and you still want to improve. You still want this offense to be better. You still want Patrick Mahomes to be better, turn the ball over less and whatnot. But it's just not like, it's not like you have to hit the reset button, I think, is what I'm really ultimately trying to reinforce here. The goal for Patrick Mahomes' career at the end of the day, especially if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, first and foremost, and not an individual Mahomes fan, which exists, trust me, is it's not for him to just keep putting up all these top numbers. If you're trying to create the GOAT argument, then yes, you consistently want awesome numbers, high passing yards per game, high passing yards per yards per pass, high passing touchdowns, high passer rating, high completion, right? You want that. You want that, and you want the big moments. It's like, like you want that consistently and reliably. But if you're just a Kansas City Chiefs fan, first and foremost, and you're not really you don't care too much about who ends up being the GOAT at the end of the day, you just want to win, you just want to be great, you want to win Super Bowls, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, it's just let's just play smart level football. I don't need this to be the most exciting thing ever. You know what's exciting to me? Winning game after game after game. Ideally, I'd like to not have to come from behind. I'd like to not have so many close one-score games in the final couple minutes of the game. But like, I'll take a 21-10 game, and I'll be really excited and really happy. And when we're 9-2 and we're winning a bunch of games 21-10, I'll be like, we're great, we're awesome, we're the team to beat. I'll take that over a game where we hang 42 just because we can say, look what we did, we put up 42. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball for 425 passing yards. It's just like, I know we're so obsessed with that. I know it, and I get it. And I know, especially if you're someone like a Patrick Mahomes, it helps contribute to his GOAT, to a GOAT resume. I mean, heck, even Tom Brady losing in the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2017, like, he threw for like a gajillion yards, and it's like, that still helps him. Because when you look at his bottom line Super Bowl stats, it's like, look at this game, or he lost, but he threw for, whatever the heck the number was. And so it's just like those things, it's like, it's kind of fascinating when you kind of think about it, because would it have been better for Tom Brady, and probably because it's so much about the rings, if Tom Brady beat the Eagles that year, but he only threw for like 174 yards. He had a game where he threw 155 yards, 0 touchdowns and an interception, but they won the Super Bowl. It's like, it would be fascinating, because bottom line, you would still say, okay, well, now he's got 8 rings. It's unbelievable. He's the GOAT. But when you have another great quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes up and coming, they'll be like, well, look at this Super Bowl that he won where he only threw for 150 yards, 0 touchdowns, an interception. He was carried by his team, his defense. Like, that's when you kind of start to get lost in the weeds. Tom Brady easily could have lost the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks. He was given a prayer answered by the heavens. It's like, that's when you start to zoom in. So it's just like, you got to figure out what you're cheering for. Yeah, like, there were many other quarterbacks who had better seasons, significantly better seasons than Patrick Mahomes. Yet, Patrick Mahomes went further than all of them except for one, Jalen Hurts. So, it really is a fascinating conversation that I haven't been able to completely plant my feet in terms of when you're in a position like a Patrick Mahomes, who people are like, this guy could be the GOAT, especially, before the Super Bowl. People are like, if he wins, he's the GOAT, this, that. It's like, when you have the GOAT title at stake, it's like, it's fast. It's interesting to me. It's just, then what do you need out of the quarterback to prove that he's the GOAT? It's not just wins for me. It's not just rings for me. It's really not. It's got to be a balance. Like, that's why it becomes unanswerable in a lot of ways. It's why when people said, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes wins gets a three-peat, that proves that he's the GOAT," and I'm like, no, it's not. It's like, why is that better than having 8 rings? And it's just like, and also I would be just as wildly impressed with Patrick Mahomes, if not more impressed, if he won the same number of Super Bowls, but over a longer period of time rather than back to back to back. If he wins 5 Super Bowls and one of them were back to back to back, I would be more impressed if he won the 5 Super Bowls where they were more spread out, because you're then winning over a longer period of time. Like, to me, that's actually more impressive. Now, if I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, it's like, I can appreciate the dominance that my team has had for back-to-back-to-back years, right? Then I can really get behind that. But if I'm trying to craft, like, a GOAT resume, it's just like, well, it's definitely an achievement, no denying that. But I'm also, the fact that you've been able to win consistently not just be hot for like a 3-year run or something. Like, it just makes it, in my mind, actually a little bit higher quality. And again, even if I was, a diehard Chiefs fan, it would be awesome. It would be like, yeah, we 3-peated and all that, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like, if you could choose to just win, to have that 3-peat and then win another Super Bowl, I don't know, 5 years from now or something, and then that's it, or not 3-peat, but then not this year, but next year you win a Super Bowl, and then 2 years later you win another Super Bowl. Like, to me, it's just, your greatness is being more sustained. So, yeah. But I am excited to see what Patrick Mahomes looks like in 2025. Not from a number perspective. Really just like how this offense is run, how the Kansas City Chiefs build their offense, and how Patrick Mahomes looks as a quarterback individually. That's what I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what is his intention for 2025. Is it to show to everyone that he can put these numbers up, that he can get back out there, or is it just still going to be like, nope, we just got to win games no matter how it unfolds. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Patrick Mahomes? Are you excited to see him with some extra pieces around him offensively? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.